Now we come to M3, International Marketing Mix Line Decisions. International marketing decisions are same as domestic marketing, only difference is that their scale of marketing decisions are much higher and we have to stick to foreign and international markets or customers. More clearly, product, price, promotion and distribution decisions are made for international buyers. Those firms planning to enter the global markets have to decide international market decisions, market selection decisions, market entry decisions, marketing mix decisions, organizational decisions. So international market decisions, whether to go on international market or not, market selection decision to which country to sell, which state to start from, market entry decision, how to enter international market mix decision, which type of marketing mix should a firm prepare, organization decision, what type of organization should a firm adopt to manage international business. Product standardization versus product adaptation. You can't mention adaptation without mentioning standardization. They are two sides of the same coin. They both represent a way of selling products overseas. As pointed out, adaptation involves modifying a product so as to meet the local requirements and customs. An example is McDonald's vegetarian burgers in India. Adaptations also demand the use of different marketing and selling strategies in the foreign market. With standardization, products are neither modified nor they are completely changed, but it is how one needs it, one size fits all. So it's a blanket design, standardization means. Okay, so there is foreign markets, there also we just go with the standard products. It is cheap, efficient and good chance of penetrating because people might be already knowing कि ये दूसरे foreign markets में कैसा कर रहा है. And local regulations also will be supportive and we know what rules and regulations can be possible in foreign markets. Next we come to the life cycle of products. Okay. So life cycle means product life cycle theory divides marketing of a product into 4 stages: introduction, growth, maturity and decline. When product life cycle is based on sales volume, introduction and growth often becomes one stage. For internationally available products, these 3 remaining stages include the effect of outsourcing and foreign production. When a product grows rapidly in a home market, it experiences saturation when low-wage countries imitate it and flood the international market. Afterwards, a product declines, a new and better products come in the market and the cycle is repeated every time. Packaging and labeling. Packaging is essential as it is used for identification of products. It enhances the appearance of the label, and this is also major labeling is required so that products don't get mixed up. If there is a spoilage or breakage, it can be sent back according to the labeling. Also in marketing, sticker, inedible products or handle with care, food items, everyone have their own labeling. Okay, it helps to spread awareness among customers, it helps in transportation and the ingredients are clearly mentioned in the packaging and labeling. Branding decisions. Closely linked to product positioning and communication issues in international market are branding decisions. The main purpose of branding is to differentiate companies' offerings and to create brand identification and awareness. The company needs to decide which general branding strategy in terms of brand architecture is to be applied for each country market. The main problem in international branding strategies is whether to choose an integrated global branding approach which employs a uniform branding approach for all markets or to use differentiated regional or local branding strategies. In this context, decisions about geographic extension of brands are very important. Now we come to my favorite part, segmentation, targeting, positioning in international market. Buyers differ from needs, wants and demands in various markets. Marketeers further differentiate between buyers and segments into smaller segments that are fairly homogeneous in terms of needs, resources, locations, buying attitudes or buying practices. The main purpose of segmentation activities are to ensure that potential and current customers can be reached more effectively and that communication, product, service offerings can be matched to the unique needs of the different buyers. A market segment is defined as a group of category of customers who can be reached with a distinct and differentiated marketing mix. Let's go to positioning. After the global market has been segmented and one or more segments have been targeted, it is essential to plan a way to reach the target. To achieve this task, marketers use positioning in the mind of the customers and what offerings they are giving to the product and how they are better from competitors. In today's global market, the environment and companies are increasingly focusing on giving more service, to do more cost on global positioning strategy and to reach every country in an equal standard. Can global positioning work for all products? One study suggests that global positioning is most effective for product categories that approach from both ends, high tech, high touch, evolving, continuously changing. And also understanding the language of various customers. Marketing Targeting means understanding the culture of various countries and the politics and the social environment and everything. So that is STP.